lovies, it's Cherie. I'm in a good mood because I'm waiting for my mom to get here, and she's always late because she's my mom, and she always forgets that she lives in Alabama, which is an hour behind me, so she's like, I'm gonna leave on time, and then she really leaves an hour past the time she's supposed to leave, and then we're an hour behind already, so maybe she'll be here tomorrow, I don't know. But anyway, I thought I would film today a video about my natural ways that I try and prevent and then also combat? I don't know. Treat colds and, you know, seasonal distresses, because we're going into winter and everyone gets a cold. I always have a sniffly nose on Christmas. Like, it never fails that I have some kind of runny nose on Christmas. So these are just some of the natural things that I use when that happens, or to try and prevent that from happening. And disclaimer, I am by no means a doctor. So these are just things that work for me, that I have tried. Please do your own research. And if you are taking medications, please make sure you check that list with any supplements that you add, because you can have adverse reactions to supplements mixing with other medicines and supplements. So I'm gonna go through all the things that I do to keep myself in check. The first thing I do is I use supplements, and I really don't trust doctors, and I don't think that they have our best interest at heart 95% of the time. I think it's just we're a dollar amount and that's it. So when I go to the doctor, I most of the time don't take the medicine they give me. When I had a kidney stone a couple weeks ago, they gave me antibiotics. I did not take them. So, you know, I just try and treat things as naturally as I can. Now last year, I think it was last year, my husband Chris got the flu, and I have never seen anyone that actually had the flu. I've never myself had the flu, knock on wood. But it was pretty terrible. Like, I've never seen him so sick. And, you know, my husband is not the kind of person who is like whiny and all that kind of stuff, and he was just like a mess. So I was really afraid I was gonna get it, but I still wanted to take really good care of him. So these are the things that I took while I nursed him back to health, and I didn't get it, thank goodness. So the first thing that I took is these Ester C 1000 milligram citrus time release capsules. You can get, you know, any kind of vitamin C, but you want to like just power bomb yourself with vitamin C, especially if you're around someone who's sick. I take these every day, sometimes every other day. Let's be real, I forget my supplements sometimes. But when he was sick, I took this every single day, and it really kind of gave me like a boost of energy, kept me up, kept my immune system up, and I didn't get the flu. So this was one of the things that helped. And another thing that really helped was Sambuca. I've talked about this a lot. I'm probably like 2 servings away from being finished with this bottle. So I would take the vitamin C and then the Sambuca all at once, and it just kind of kept it at bay. I also gave this to my husband, and it shortened his yuckiness. After we paid $250 for his whatever medication that they said would help him. And then another thing that I think you should take always, but definitely in the winter, is a multivitamin. This is not the best one. I've had this one since he got sick. This is the one I started taking when he got sick. And I'm really bad about taking multivitamins, but mostly because they're like horse pills and they're ginormous and they're really hard for me to swallow. But this was the one I was taking when he got sick, and it's got a whole bunch of good stuff in it that I can't read to you because it's a very long list. But just make sure you're taking a multivitamin. I would say that you should probably get one that's concentrated for women, because there are different needs that women have that men don't have. So this, you know, if you get a woman's formula, you're gonna get a little more vitamins and minerals that women folk need. So those 3 things really kind of kept me from getting the flu and kind of helped him not have it as long. I mean, he's still miserable. It was just terrible. And another thing that I used when he had the flu, this is not a cure-all, like it didn't really help him have a shortened flu life, but it helped one of his symptoms, which was nausea. And so we got these ginger root supplements. This is a natural way to kind of combat nausea, or if your stomach's upset. You can also suck on peppermints. Anything peppermint really kind of tames the tummy. So ginger and peppermint, 2 thumbs up for nausea. And then, of course, I always use teas, because I drink a lot of tea anyway, and I've really been getting into medicinal teas because I feel like I mean, I love coffee, don't get me wrong, but I really feel like teas have some medicinal properties that coffee doesn't have. Coffee is just delicious, but tea is really like helpful. Alright, so the first thing that I've got in my giant box OT, The first tea that I'm going to talk about, if I can find it in this big pile of mess. Oh, tea! Okay, so the first tea I'm going to talk about is green tea. Now, I know that all of you on this planet who are into like natural stuff have heard about green tea, and you probably drink it now. But in the winter, it's really good to drink it because it kind of has like a lot of antioxidants in it. It gives you a lot of energy. It kind of keeps your immune system boosted. And so I really like this Gunpowder green by Numi. I also really like matcha powder, but I drink all my matcha, so it's not here. But matcha is really great because it's like green tea superfied. It's super concentrated, really strong. It's an acquired taste, but I love it. Mixed with a little bit of honey, girl. You can even pour it in smoothies, so I really like that. Later. The next one I really want to talk about, and I talked about this in my favorites, I think, is this roasted dandelion root tea. This stuff is like a cure-all magical sauce. It's really good for your kidneys, so it's like detoxifying, and it's also immune boosting. It tastes really good. It tastes very like coffee to me. Not, you know, coffee darkness, but like roasted and delightful. It's mild. Dandelions just have a whole lot of healing properties that I wasn't aware of. So this has actually become one of my daily teas. So I drink this at least once a day. I'm on my second box. So I love these. Let's see. The next one I'm going to talk about is this traditional medicines brand. Go and check them out. Medicinals, not medicines, medicinals. They have a whole rack of them at my local grocery store, and I'm sure at Whole Foods or wherever, but they have something to treat everything. They're amazing, and each one that I've tried has been delicious. I'm not going to drink something if it's gross. Minus the apple cider vinegar. Yeah. But anyway, so I've been drinking this at night sometimes. It's organic chamomile with lavender. This one's great because it gives you a little restful, sleepy time. And I gotta say that in the winter, when you're feeling sick or you're trying to combat sickness, get your sleep. Your body needs to rest, it needs to rejuvenate. You need time to kind of let your body heal itself at night. In the winter, we try not to stay out too late, not only because we're not really out laters anyway, but because, you know, you're just kind of more susceptible to germs when you're tired and your body hasn't slept very well. So I really think sleep is important to kind of combat any kind of disgusting nasties that could be trying to attack your body. So this is good at night if you're a little wound up and you're trying to calm it down. Calm it down. This is a new tease that I haven't actually tried yet, but I have heard a lot of great things, and since I'm already in love with traditional medicinals, I pretty much am convinced they're gonna work. But I went to the store the other day and I saw this seasonal sampler, and this just has a little sampler of all of their healing teas. They have Gypsy Cold Care, which is for if you have a cold. And then they have Echinacea Plus. I know I'm saying that wrong. Echinacea is another really good natural way to kind of get your immune system up and keep it up. So that's another tea that I'm going to have to add probably to my daily intake. Throat coat, I heard, is amazing if you have a sore throat. I had a subscriber, I think on Instagram, tell me that when she had a sore throat, she doesn't know what's in the tea that does it, but it really does feel like it coats your throat and keeps it from hurting, and I just think that's amazing. And then there's one called Breathe Easy, so that if you're stuffed up and congested, it'll clear those passageways and you can breathe again. So I am in love with this company, so I'm definitely going to start using some of these teas for my colds and symptoms. A few more things that I use that are kind of, you know, maybe not your everyday uses things to combat colds and sicknesses is this Natural Vitality, Natural Calm Magnesium supplement. I say most people, are really deficient in magnesium. This really helps you sleep really good at night. It kind of calms me down if I'm feeling really anxious. It doesn't taste like anything. I got the flavorless. So I mix it in hot water, it bubbles up, and I stir it up really good, and then I let it sit on the counter, you know, for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then the flavor is just completely gone. If you don't do that, you get a little bit of a taste that tastes kind of like a fizzy baking soda. Like if you just drank baking soda, that's what it kind of tastes like to me. But this is really good for, again, helping you get to sleep, keeping you calm, keeping that magnesium up. Sometimes I have restless leg syndrome at night. Like my legs just feel like they just want to like run marathons. This really keeps that from happening. So I usually know I'm getting low on magnesium if my legs begin crazy at night. A little thing that I use, now this is gonna look crazy, but I dehydrate in the summer months when citrus fruits are like really abundant and there's lots of different kinds. I buy organic citrus fruits when they're on sale, and I dehydrate them. These are dehydrated organic lemons. These might be Meyer lemons, I can't remember because I've got them all mixed together. But you know, I have a dehydrator, which is super helpful when you're trying to save, you know, food and stuff like that. But I will add this like one dried lemon to my tea, and it kind of comes back to life, and I still get that flavor and those benefits of that citrus, you know, without having to buy something that's probably imported from way far away and, you know, doesn't have all the good stuff in it that I want. So this is really helpful. There are ways to dehydrate in your oven that I don't know how to do because I have a dehydrator, but they sell dehydrators super cheap. I mean, my husband bought like the Mondo, you know, one that's got like 1,500 trays in it or something. We can dehydrate a baby, but but you can get one for like 20 bucks, and I've even seen them at like TJ Maxx and stuff like that for like $15, and those work just as good. So I really suggest either eating as much fresh citrus as you can, or, you know, dehydrate your own and then just add it into stuff. And another just little tasty tip, I buy blood oranges, which are my favorite kind of orange, not only because they're aesthetically pleasing, but they are delicious. But I buy them when they're in season, and I dehydrate them, and then in the winter time I make fresh hot cocoa, and I put like 2 or 3 slices of the blood orange in the hot chocolate, and it just takes it to another level. It's like the best hot chocolate I've ever put in my face. My husband does like happy dances when I make it. It's so good. But anyway, so citrus, either in supplement form, real form, dried form, any form, put that citrus up in you. And then the last thing is super important, and I really feel like you should start this in like, just take it every day. You need to seek it out, purchase it, and then consume it every day, and it's honey. I grabbed my one I bought from the store, but I do have some local raw honey that I buy from a farmer's market that's around us. You want to buy honey that's produced within like 20 to 50 miles from your house, because that means you're consuming the pollen that is native to your area, and it really helps kind of defend you against allergies in the spring and summer, and in the winter it really kind of helps boost again that immunity and kind of gives you lots of nutrients and vitamins that are kind of local to your area. So I think raw honey is mucho important daily, but definitely in the winter and to combat allergies. This is the last thing, and I'm going to touch on this lightly because I know this is a touchy subject, and honestly I don't know enough about it other than my own personal experience to like diagnose anyone, but my husband and I both suffer from seasonal depression, and I'm not a naturally down person, so like when I get down, it's low. I'm like down, down. So usually around like January into February, me and my husband are just like we're just like not happy at all, super sad. This house is grumptastic, and even this summer, like I had like a bout of depression where I actually thought I might have to go talk to someone. But what got me out of it was a supplement. I started researching like natural treatments for depression, mild depression. I don't want anyone to think that I cannot diagnose severe depression. I know that is a serious thing, and I wish I could fix it, but I don't think this is gonna help you. But this helped me get through like a mild bout of it. And I think for seasonal depression, if you are someone who just suffers from like, you know, the universe wearing down on you, I think this is great. But it's called 5-HTP, and I had never heard of it in my life, but it's a supplement, and it supports calcium and relaxes your mood is what it says on the front, and it does kind of calm you down a little bit. But this, like, I don't know, it made my sadnesses go away within like 48 hours. I think you take 2 a day, and on my second day I was feeling more like myself. I was able to get out of the bed. I didn't feel like, you know, I didn't want to do anything, and like the world was just crushing. It's amazing, and I know that seasonal depression is a real thing because we have it. And I used to think people were crazy because I was like, what? Seasonal? What? But no, it's real. It's real, folks. But this really helped me and my husband get out of the funk. So yeah, so I will continue to take these probably starting like mid-January. Usually around my birthday is when I start getting like I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to see anyone. And actually I started YouTube in February, and that was kind of like something that helped pull me out of my funk last year, because I was like, I don't want to leave my house, but I want to talk to some people. YouTube! But anyway, so those are just some of the things that I use to combat, you know, colds and try and keep sickness at bay or like shorten its lifespan. Mental health is, you know, just as important as your physical health. So I try and keep that in check as well. And I'm gonna try and do another video where I touch on like diet changes and other different tips and tricks that I use for, you know, seasonal depression, and if you're sick and ill, you know, those healing foods that can really help your body. But I hope this was helpful. And what are some cold remedies that you have? Do you have like an old school, something that like your family swears by? Or do you have any tips and tricks that I didn't mention? Or did I say something wrong and you need to tell me about it? Pop it down below. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I have all three of them social medias. Let's get all up in each other's business. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye!